Okay, I only just recently-ish set up, like, my microphone arm and whatnot again after frag. I think I might have put my pop filter on the wrong way because it's all, like, weird and stuff. Also, the last time I streamed this game, we were at the frag venue trying to stream there, and it didn't work. It did not work. It was all a massive failure. Let's get the game on the screen. That'd be cool. There we go. So hopefully at the real frag event, it'll be a-okay. Anyway, this camera should be like that is what that should be. Go ahead and continue here. Yeah, so I tried streaming for like, 40 minutes, something like that, and it just didn't really work. So it's like, oh, well, maybe I can stream this game when we're at the full Fragapalooza event in a couple weeks, but maybe not right now. Also, what I mean by my pop filter being on the wrong way, I mean like the part where it attaches here, because it kind of bonks into the wall, so I think I gotta like turn it around so the part sticking out sticks out this way where it doesn't have to worry about bonking against the wall. Also, I was missing a screw, it turns out, that I don't remember ever needing, so I got that figured out and like the mic arm set up here again. I'm not taking my mic arm to the, gosh darn it, to the real frag event. I didn't even think that I would need to take it to like the test frag event because I thought I had the screws for this stand and I couldn't find them, but later I found them, so I'll just use the mic stand there. So yeah, that's what's going on. Also, this week is gonna be like the very first week of really going full swing with our Summer of JRPGs thingamabob that we're doing around here. So it is currently the 26th of July. So today we're doing NieR Replicant. Tomorrow is another story of Live Alive, Live Alive, whatever the heck. I prefer saying Live Alive, but apparently it's officially called Live Alive. The day after that is another session of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. And then the day after that is finally Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I'm pretty hyped. This is gonna be a pretty crazy week. I got a different JRPG every day. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's cool to see. I can't wait for that. There, apparently the full game is like leaked right now, so gotta be careful around like the interwebs and leaks and stuff right now. I'll just go towards the X for now, I guess. So be careful of that. My cousin was telling me that people have already figured out how to put Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on their Steam decks, apparently. And it's like, oh, well, that's certainly something. Yeah, and that a game. That's another one there, too. Got through more than 30 stacks of glass working on the Nether Hub on the server. Jeez. I can't wait to see it here at some point. My goodness gracious. Hi, how's it going?
Yona?
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hiya.
How are you
Wait,
feeling?
don't I usually use this layout for this game? I don't remember.
Now that I'm taking the medicine you brought.
Good.
Neat.
By the way,
Good.
Are you gonna stay here today?
Sure?
You bet.
Really? You'll stay with me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's even some leaked OST, but it keeps getting taken down like all the time. The officially released OST is usually like the first half of it and not the full thing, so I've been trying to listen to the full things, but it keeps on getting taken down like so fast.
Yeah, Yona. I'll
That's the
stay.
thing, but it is really good.
Now get back to bed.
Okay.
What I've been listening to on repeat a lot is, it's probably not too spoilery to say that there's just, this remix existing. I hear a voice, just a sec. The theme from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Drifting Souls, turns out there's a battle theme of it in a Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I've been listening to it a whole bunch. It's really good, is the thing. My goodness, that sounds like a lot of layers of glass on the server there. Much like ogres and onions, Mythic's Nether Highway has layers. I hear a voice. I squint and see a boy standing before me. His hair is silver, and he stares up at me with hard, glassy eyes. Soon his lips begin to move, but no sound comes out. Turns out he had his microphone muted, but then luckily he remembered to unmute his microphone. What is he saying? I can't hear him. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. I can't. I try to leave, but something about the boy holds my gaze. He's so hot! I watch his face, expressionless, his lips lift. What is happening right now? What is happening right now? I don't know if I've heard that one yet. I know I've heard the You Will Know Our Names finale, if that's maybe just the name for, I don't know, it might be a different theme, but I believe it's very good. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the very first game that I played where I thought the entire soundtrack was incredible. I mean, I thought like 90% of the Xenoblade Chronicles 1 OST was incredible. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the very first game that I thought like 100% of the OST was incredible. I never thought any game would do that. Then Octopath Traveler did that as well. So hopefully Xenoblade 3 does that as well. We shall see. So hub is now certified electro-friendly with 4 wide, 6 tall tunnels. Wow. Really been working at it there. Wait, it's a phrase. I can almost make it out. It starts with an S, then there's an E, and then the way that can go, I can almost see it now. The letters begin to fall together, one after the other, faster and faster. Sealed verse. It's a sealed verse. What is happening right now? Thing I'm looking for, the key to saving my sister. I stare. Is this like a dream right now or something? I stare at the boy with renewed ferocity, trying desperately to make out his next word. Dream. Dream? What the hell does he mean? The dream cheating scandal? The lips move again, faster now. I can't follow them. Damn it, I can't make it out. I want to scream. I want to tear the walls down around me, but instead I force myself to be calm. I can do this. I can do it for Yona. Slowly, ever so slowly, I parse out the letters that make up his final words. The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage test. Forest of Myth. Is that our next destination then? The next morning. Well,
Just a dream. Even in my dreams,
a weird
I'm
text
typing
stream.
Sealed verses.
Even in my dreams, I stream. Like, it freaking sucks when I find myself in, like, a state where I'm, like, half awake, half asleep, and I think that I'm streaming. That happens sometimes, at least once a month.
Morning.
And it's really annoying because I can't sleep.
Morning, Yona.
What's wrong? Are you feeling sick too?
No, I had a strange dream.
What was it about?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
'Cause I had a dream too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Me and this boy were playing a game together.
What kind of game?
It was called Guess the
Xenoblade
Word.
Chronicles 3.
He made it up because I never heard of it before.
How did it work?
I only know about the thing from the
The
memes,
boy
but
would move his mouth, but no words would come out.
so I'm not the only one
Guess what
then.
he was trying to say. It was hard. I wanted to play hide and seek, but we had to play his dumb game instead.
So what did he say?
I don't know. All I could figure out was dream and Forest of Myth. Don't worry. I'm gonna study hard so that next time I can figure out everything. We should play a game together sometime too.
Sure, Yona.
Okay, so something interesting. I guess we gotta go to the Forest of Myth now. Something interesting about this game that I'll talk about after this then.
Something troubling you, lad?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Come on, I need to go ask Popola something.
So something interesting about this game is that there is apparently like a part 1 and a part 2, kind of similar to the Fire Emblem Fodlan adventures in a way. And this game is very interesting when it comes to its endings. So, you know, I want to try and get all the endings and such. And apparently, I've probably mentioned it earlier this playthrough, but I want to go through it again for like, to establish what our way forward here is going to be. So apparently this game has like 5 different endings, but you can get them in like a relatively linear way. So apparently you get the first ending just by seeing the game all the way through to the end, first ending. Apparently if you then like reload that save file, it puts you at like the beginning of part 2, but from there the storyline is completely different and then ending 2. And it's like, oh, okay. And then apparently you reload that save file again, and then it's like right at the back of the beginning of like part 2 again. And apparently once again, the story's like completely different. And then you're presented with like the options for ending 3 and ending 4, and you want to do like ending 3 and then ending 4. So like beat the final boss, do ending 3, reload your save, beat the final boss again, and then do ending 4. And then apparently after you do ending 4, you can like pursue ending 5. Apparently. So, and apparently, if you want, like, endings 3 and 4, you need every weapon in the game, which I find peculiar. I don't know why that is. Maybe there will be, like, some story reason for it. But apparently, you need every weapon. So, considering that, like, subsequent playthroughs start you from the beginning of part 2, like, you can still get, like, all the part 1 weapons that you missed in part 2. They're just a little bit annoying, and if you have to do like part 2 over again multiple times, then it's best to just get them all during part 1. So, I looked up about how much I'd done of part 1, and during the first stream of this game, I streamed this for like 8 hours or something ridiculous, right? So I looked up like a part 1 guide that had like a list of like all the categories of things that you go through at part 1 just to read like what I'd done already. And it seemed like I was about 2/3 done with part 1 already, and it's like, oh, yeah, I really went ham on like those 8 hours, holy crap. So I started looking up like, okay, what is the indicator in the story to know when like part 2 is gonna be like soon? And the interwebs told me is apparently when Yona asks you to go inspect like some manor or something. Like, I think we've seen it on the map through one of these planes or something like that. That I think it's on the way to the seafront. If you go this other way, there's like a there's a manor or something like that. Apparently at some point in the game when you're asked to inspect that, apparently that's what starts the route towards like part 2 that, you know, you're kind of locked into at that point. So I'm gonna keep on playing this video game, but if anyone asks me to inspect a freaking manor, I'm just gonna like put a halt to the story and go around like weapon collecting all the weapons that I can for part 1. I might potentially need to like find some way to grind funds, something like that, to like get the weapons in the shop, because it would be nice to just like get them once and then, you know, have it seen through with and not have to like get them again in subsequent playthroughs. So I just wanted to establish that is the plan of action for this here video game. That's my plan. Also, hello Politico Steph. I saw the IGN rated Xenoblade Chronicles 3 with an 8 out of 10, while Nintendo Life rated a 10 out of 10. Wow, for IGN, 8 out of 10 basically means it's a masterpiece. Is basically what that means. Yeah, that's what I feel like when it comes to big reviewers a lot of the time. Guzma was posting like a review in, I think it was in the memes channel. Someone did like a meme, like parody IGN review, and it actually just sounded like something that IGN would give. Was the funny part. You know?
What's up, Popola?
What's up?
Hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
They're inviting me to join Smash. Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent resident in one of our 7 Koopa hotels. Hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream in the village. Did everyone have the same dream? So I might be Dream able to get your advice, Dream, on the matter. Recently, there have been dream reports. Dream of certain dream, evil, dream, whatever the heck. What, is this like being a freaking Dream stan is like? If you're a Dream stan, are these the DMs that you send to like other Dream stans?
That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing.
Go to Dream-related Twitter. I don't know. I don't
The
browse.
mayor of a small village in the Forest
bubble.
of Myth.
That's just
It's
my
a
best
wooded area
guess.
up north.
The Forest of Myth?
The Forest of Myth? Where have I heard that before?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
You will?
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
that's probably
I've
what
got
Dream thinks on the
business there
daily, huh?
Oh, well, all right. Thank you.
Also, those candles seem dangerously close to the ceiling, but what do I know? Okay, as the camera turned, maybe they weren't as close as I thought they were, but it still seemed kind of close. Still a little bit sketchy sketchers there, you know. That's what I think. Alright, so the next place we go to is the Forest of Dreams. I think it was shortly after the last session that I was looking up about how much there was for part 1, and I think that I was seeing that it was like Forest of Dreams and then the manor, or then something else and then the manor. I think like, I don't think there's a lot left of part 1 though, I think. It probably is a bit of a fire hazard, and in the library as well. Like, I feel like that should be hanging a little bit lower. Oh, hi. I forgot I had like a whole anime run, Naruto run friendo helping me here now. So where are we going? Oh yeah, that way. Forest of Myth. Okay. So down that way. So in the near future, I might potentially have to look up like methods of farming funds in this game to get like all the weapons and stuff. Like, I don't know if, you know, you get like good funds from these and stuff. I hear that apparently the mutton lady gives a not half bad amount of funds for mutton that you give her. So it might not actually be a bad idea to get like a mutton as I go along, because this might save a lot of hassle later when it comes to getting the weapons. I don't know why you need all the weapons. Like, maybe there's some story reason. The internet has just told me you need all the weapons, apparently. So, like, I imagine there'll be some sort of story reason instead of it just being for funsies, but for, like, what possible story reason when you need, like, every weapon in the world? Seems pretty random. Maybe it'll make sense later. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on there. And the scores professional critics give is that they basically have to give games high scores to not piss off the devs and publishers. Yeah. They want to leave a good impression and whatnot. Is oftentimes the case. And stuff. Whoa. Ah, a thing to put in my pocket. Yoink! Ow! Or as we established during that like failed failed attempted stream from this past weekend, I don't really have pockets here, do I? This kind of thing. I'm gonna adjust my microphone here a little bit, so I'm gonna do like that. But yeah, collect every weapon to make the great weapon. Oh, would that be the story reason? I guess that would make sense. Collect every weapon, combine them, that makes like an ultra weapon. Could well be it. But yeah. That and too much water. What with like IGN with the Alpha Sapphire?
Prevail if you are blinded with rage.
Anyway, when it comes to like leaving a good impression on developers and whatnot, the only time that I have ever reviewed a game like on behalf of developers was Dark Deity, and you know, there have been other opportunities that have come up for me to like review games early, but the other cases have just been things that didn't seem like anything that I was all that interested in, slash the way that they like pitched it to me was like really scummy. Dark Deity was the only game where it's like, huh, they're being really real about what this is, and this actually looks like a game that I'm interested in. And you know, the director of that game, Chip, he's a really cool dudo and whatnot. So,
you know, a
like,
little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
and is Kane? I don't know what, I don't remember the pronunciation there, not with me right now. Anyway, and I really liked Chip there. He was a really nice guy. Like, yeah, it was also a good game. It wasn't perfect. There was a lot of, you know, there were a lot of issues with it, especially like right when it came out. And I know that they worked really hard at fixing a lot of the issues. Like, a lot of the things that we didn't get to see in the playthrough since we played like right at launch were some of the things that they changed. Like when they went and redesigned all the maps, like that was pretty cool because yeah, some of the maps were pretty bland some of the time. So like the complete map redesign that they did was really neat. So, you know, I don't know how many big game reviewers actually know like the developers firsthand. I guess they just want to make like a good impression on like big name developers and whatnot. This was the case where it's like I met, you know, the main developer, the director firsthand. And he was like a super cool dude and like a super nice guy and whatnot. And we later played Civilization together and my religion invaded his place, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and yoink that. But, you know, when I was talking about the game and whatnot, you know, I did want to like the game because, you know, I liked the person who was behind it because it turned out he was like a really cool dude and whatnot. But, you know, I did at the end of the day also try to just be like completely honest in what I thought about the game. And there were definitely some times like I got pretty frustrated with the game. That was no secret. There were some times I got frustrated with it. But, you know, I stayed completely honest throughout the whole thing. And I liked the game. I did like it at the end of the day. Also, fun fact, Dark Deity, I think just yesterday or maybe a couple days ago, actually released their beach DLC. I don't remember if it was during my session of Civilization that I was talking about it with Chip or like during the, I don't think it was during the initial thing because they were just focusing on like launch there and talking about, you know, some of the things before. Yeah, the freaking menu screwed me in a couple times. Sometimes sometimes got RNG screwed and sometimes I just lost so much progress to like the menus. Screw that. But for the most part, I really like that game. But yeah, I think it was during the session where I was playing Civilization against him late last year where I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's where he was talking to me about like working on like upcoming DLC and whatnot for that. Well, it just released like yesterday or the day before. They released like a summer DLC. So, you know, bunch of characters in swimsuits and whatnot. So it's basically Fire Emblem Awakening / Fates with that essentially. So because we did like a full playthrough of Dark Deity and now there's DLC out for it, I'm wondering if I should do like the beach DLC or whatnot, or if I should focus on the other, you know, RPGs going on the channel right now. But I may pick it up, and I'll definitely consider covering it, because I did like Dark Deity.
Beware the words.
They're gonna be harmful words. What is this, freaking Monty Python and the Holy Grail? We are the knights who say nee! Nee, no! No, stop it!
What? What do you mean?
Nee!
Contagious. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Dream.
Those who dream?
Dream. 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 Dream
Yeah, they might say
It's a
that.
strange new sensation.
Oh, there's a
in my
new
mind.
text box thingamabob. Also, well, that goes on about to say. Oh yeah, about a week and a half ago-ish, I did wind up looking up a YouTube video that shows like where to get all the weapons from part 1. So it's not quite fresh in my memory right now. I just kind of skimmed it out of curiosity. Apparently, one of the ones that you get is like in this forest by helping 2 people in their dreams. Apparently, I remember that. His voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
Are we getting narrated? The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We
My name
heard
is Inigo
something happened
Montoya.
to this village,
You
so we
killed
came
my
to see if
father.
we could help.
The mayor stared at Harmonia and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
Also, I'm gonna adjust the volume very slightly here in OBS. The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. It's getting bigger, though. Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here.
He
Are
said,
you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
"Can they wait?
Yes. I think
Can they
you
now?"
are.
Well,
In other words, we've caught the death dream?
I've not heard of it. I'm sorry to say. Before the mayor could confirm Harmonia's suspicion, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous, preposterous, completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just
I
how
get-
the death dream works.
I guess that's technically true there. Haven't seen it myself, but, you know, I know of it. I've played enough Dead by Daylight to be at least slightly familiar with it. Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then suddenly changed the subject to who Harmonia had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village,
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream.
said the mayor.
A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Harmonia and Vice racked their brains, but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
So it kind of relates to potential PTSD kind of stuff. If you you know, have that kind of memories in a sense. Irritated, Vice looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Harmonia like a contagion. Hold on. So, it's not even voices here. Wait, Harmonia said suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing his startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Said the mayor. Some specific combination of words? What was it? It was about dreaming, or something about dreams, or... oh, what the hell was it? A sheep? Cried Vice suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Harmonia's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said. I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Harmonia. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the Death Dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps it should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The bear's head tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. What is this, the plot of Paper Mario Color Splash? I've never played that game before, so I don't know. I'll play it eventually. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying till it happens. Harmonia nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second, I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said Harmonia, just ask. Now, hold on, I did not just say that, or with... Silence, cried Vice, I don't know who's speaking there. The grimoire looked from Harmonia to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, mayor. You told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet, you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? Mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said. You're right. You're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice, and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called to the departing forms of Harmonia and Vice. We're all counting on you. As Harmonia slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Harmonia's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Harmonia to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Harmonia snapped. Okay, Vice, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk! Harmonia leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. This layout might actually be better. How can this stupid forest be so big, he muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that riled his teeth. That reminds me of the time that we went through a rainforest at night in Costa Rica with a tour guide, of course. And one of the insects that he found was what he called a headlight click beetle. And it was this beetle that he put on his hand, and it literally had like glowing eyes, glow in the dark, like to scare off predators. It was so cool. Anyway, so thinking about clicking, I just remembered the freaking headlight click beetle and made an interesting sound. I don't know if that was the proper name for it or whether that was just like a slang term there, but it was a really cool insect. Anyway, Harmonia slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Vice, what's going on? Harmonia could see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insect screamed. The forest howled. Just then, just as Harmonia's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Zuri, 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 zuri. Shaka, whatever the heck. All these things. Wow! All the things. As the insect's symphony dimmed another decibel, Harmonia began to detect patterns in the sound. What is going on? This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise. It's something else. The insects weren't just calling out. They were asking a question. Two trains are traveling at each other at 20 meters per second and 30 meters per second, and they're 400 meters apart. How long until they meet? 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages. Is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? I don't know. Then, do I select it? Answer is a secret. Answer is a seesaw. How should I know? It's lacking. 2 is ideal. 3 is dangerous. So probably a seesaw, right? I would imagine. Anyway, the thing about with dreams, you can be safe from it if woken up in time. Huh. A dream where you died by someone knocked you off the edge and woke up with a pain on your chest? Jeez. Yeah, it can have physical repercussions in dreams and whatnot. Yeah, it literally has turned into a text adventure and whatnot. You know, a seesaw? Something that's ideal for 2 people, but dangerous with 3. Welcome back. Oh, it's a seesaw. Vice's mouth flew open, but before he could say anything, the world suddenly shifted. Reiterate wah! All the insect things. When Harmonia came to, he was once again surrounded by the sounds of insects. The cries of the insects were creating words he had heard somewhere before. Here in my garage, here with my new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Wait. I guess so. Wait. Was it not a seesaw? 2 with it ideal, 1 with it is dangerous. What is it? I mean, a seesaw wasn't half bad, but yeah. So there's no point in a secret if, you know, only one person knows it. But if 2 people know a secret, then it's like an actual secret that's being kept. But if there's 3 people, then, you know, 1 person might be a little bit dangerous, might let something slip. So secret. Inwardly furious that Weiss left the task to him, Harmonia sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret, right? The sound of the insects stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Harmonia like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest anthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Harmonia moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body a relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Harmonia after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Harmonia picked up a small rock and started skipping across the surface of the water. This video game feels like the embodiment of, like, you're never gonna know what to expect. Always have the element of surprise. Never never let the player have an idea of what's to come. It's always gonna become something wildly different. Good heavens, said Weiss. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Weiss. Now answer it. Harmonia grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? I don't know, sunlight? The sunlight! Sunlight! A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried Harmonia, awakening Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? I love it when games get weird. Yeah, I feel like this game is gonna get even more weird. Like, especially with the weird thing with how this game handles its endings. So, like, this is gonna be, like, the definition of, like, weird game. I mean, the definition of weird game is probably like there is no game, wrong dimension, but you know, this is still pretty up there. Harmonia walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Harmonia, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Harmonia tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Harmonia. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Hello, Crystal. Yeah, we're doing more NieR Replicant shenanigans. Your dungeon kept wiping. What is this file? Was that Final Fantasy 14? Also, we're doing, I don't know what the heck now in this game. I don't know how this game became this, but now it's suddenly this. But yeah, honestly, at this point, if a game isn't weird, it isn't artistic. Yeah, it kinda is, huh? But yeah, 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, end the night with 3. What am I? Guess a human isn't one of the options there. Riddle me this, Batman. 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and the night with 3. Oh, I guess that would be a human. 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. A demon? I don't see it. I don't know how it would end the night with 3. I don't know. I'll try a human there, man. Mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke with a single word. Correct. What? Wait, what is a man? What? Start the morning with 4 legs, 2 at noon, and end the day with 3. A man. I don't understand. I don't see it. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Harmonia. The small man slowly shook his head. I'm not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. I guess it's metaphorical, but I still don't get it. You crawl a toddler, walk when middle-aged, then use a cane when you're old? But like in the span of a day. I guess that would be throughout the span of a lifetime? Probably as old as the man itself, maybe. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what's that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Now we must go to the person at the forest entrance. Yeah, I guess so. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Harmonia watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Harmonia and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried. You made it! You actually made it back! His left hand grasped Harmonia's and pumped it so fiercely that it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. Gah! By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not. Mayor smiled broadly and took his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Harmonia withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Death Dream's seal, he said. At least, I think we did. Mayor's face beamed as Harmonia filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down by the forest ground and fell asleep. Harmonia cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool! Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Harmonia and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten, continued Vice, it is words that control the Death Dream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor. First time I felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year, When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Harmonia, oh, now it's gonna, like, move the text box down, I guess. Harmonia shook the mirror's shoulder gently. Good news, everyone, good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh, wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading through our village and I wanted to... Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, and then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Harmonia and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life might take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on his steady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers' mayors are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. Mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, and then bowed his head and prayed slightly. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's our garden of the village's history and memories. Yeah, we gotta wake up all the mayors. Oh, now I can probably do this layout. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Weiss. We should not have put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Moni and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Weiss, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Harmonia mentioned the strange man who had given them a third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. Is the chat frozen again? Yeah, the freaking Streamlabs being weird. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Harmonia tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Harmonia gave the mayor a nod and a smile. Gosh darn it! But inwardly, his thoughts were racing. Yeah, if only I could get that on my chat there. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Obtained a sealed verse, obtained dark execution magic. Some magical spikes from the ground to impale enemies. Oh, is that one we briefly saw at the beginning of the game? Charge to increase the number of spikes. Hold on. Magic abilities. So if I set LB to, dark execution.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
So now we still have the pew pew pews, and now we have... Oh yeah, it's that one that we saw at the beginning. Oh, it's so cool! Oh, it's cool, man. It's really, really neato. Also, one of the things that reminded me of, I've mentioned it here and there before, not during NieR Replicant yet, but I've mentioned it during some other playthroughs, that it was around the end of May that I had had one of my friendos convince me to go on this freaking crusade thingamabob. I'm gonna turn it down slightly again. That's what I'm going to do. Near the mountains and whatnot. I'm someone who's you know, not religious at all, but he convinced me to go on this trip open to university students around the province, and it was a religious trip essentially, and it was gonna be studying one of the freaking Christian gospels, the Gospel of Mark specifically. I think there's like 4 gospels if I recall. I think. Don't quote me on this. I don't know things about that stuff and junk. But anyway, what kind of one of those thingamabobs gave me vibes of for a hot second there was Mr. Dudo, who's been trapped in like a dream for a super long time. It said that like he tried to stand up, but he couldn't because he, you know, hasn't used his legs for a long time. You know, one of the things that reminded me of was like when we were, what is going on with the chat today? I have to like turn it on and off there. One of the things in the gospel there that we were reading were, there were bits where it was like, and Jesus said to this person whose legs didn't work, and now your legs shall work, bam! And all of the person's like stood up and started walking around, and it's like, whoa. But when you think about it, wouldn't it be like a situation like this, except, you know, more so, if you haven't used your legs at all for, you know, who knows how long, months, years? Like, you know, you wouldn't have muscle mass there anymore, and you would also be out of practice from like walking and whatnot. Like, it's like when astronauts go to space for an extended period of time, they're gonna lose muscle mass in their legs, and they're gonna have to like recover to like living in gravity again after they've spent so much time on the ISS, you know? Anyway, so the bit where it was like he's been trapped in a dream for so long and he tried to stand up and walk, but, you know, he couldn't yet. It's gonna take some getting used to again. It kind of reminded me of how we, you know, went through, yeah, that's probably the case. There was probably, you know, very limited knowledge about how stuff like that works back then. But anyway, that was me applying, like, modern logic and reasoning to, you know, very old writings there. So that's what that that kind of reminded me of there for a hot second. Is the thing. Boopity bop. I'll go ahead and save again. NieR, a bullet hell action game, top-down shooter, but also regular camera mode, but also a side scroller, but also a book. This game is just everything all at once. It's every video game that you could possibly imagine. Sounds about right.